Okay, so we're gonna start with a description of my role in the challenge. Um, I would say, in comparison to the way that I naturally just sort of act, I took more of a backseat sort of role as far as in the challenge goes. There were definitely people on my team who already know each other and they did more of the decision making, and I tend to be more a part of that kind of process. I was kind of more observant, I think, for the first challenge than I tend to be. Um, Things I noticed about other players is kind of relative to what I just said. I have noticed that there are some pre-made relationships outside of this class, which um, help me be able to like see and understand some of these people better because I don't know anybody in the class. Um, I also have noticed that some people are a little bit more forward and loud and take charge, while some other people are a little bit more quiet and reserved. But I also think that's just a natural part of like group dynamics. Um, Hypothesis I have about why others acted and performed the way that they did. I think with it being just the first challenge, a lot of it was just kind of more so natural instinct. I think it was harder for people to maybe like put on a role. And we were all just kind of trying to figure out how the game works. Um, I also think that a lot of people in here don't know each other. While there are some pre-made relationships, there's also not a lot for us to go off of as far as making choices about other people and how they act. I don't know anybody, so it's definitely making it harder. Um, my perceptions have changed about certain other players. I have noticed that there's a group of boys in the class who are already a group of friends. And I guess as an outsider in ways, as far as like social interactions in the class, I feel like observing that could be helpful. I think watching the way that they interact like could help show who potentially may be a traitor. Um, any suspicions I have? Um, Again, it's hard for me because I don't have much of anything to base any of this off of. I don't know how a lot of these people act not playing the game, so it makes it a little bit harder. Again, though, I do have suspicions about that group of boys in the class that are already a group of friends. I think they can use that to their advantage, and it's something I'm definitely going to be aware of and pay attention to. Um, in the future, I think it should be interesting knowing that the traders are all going to know who each other are. And I think it might be obvious for them to start making alliances with each other since they all know about each other and the faithfuls we don't know. Um, so I think certain people may start to gravitate towards each other and to help each other out who wouldn't have otherwise. So certain relationships may start to form that wouldn't have formed otherwise, and I want to pay attention to that. Um, and for some reason, my instinct is just telling me that Charlie is a traitor. And I think it's because I feel like she was having a really hard time communicating and engaging, and she seemed even extra nervous. I think she's naturally just a quiet person, but I also do think that in comparison to the ways I've observed her act in the other classes, she seemed more heightened in her anxious emotions. And that's just something that my instincts are telling me. So.